I think we need to address the elephant in the room. Very at a loss with it. I'd never ever want to hold like someone back from their dreams. I feel like I'm only now just starting my life. Okay, girlies, I think it's time that we have a chat. Welcome back. Long time no talk. I hope you guys did enjoy the Australia vlogs. I feel like towards the end it all did kind of go a bit tits up with my camera situation, but happy new year. How are we? I am so excited for 2024 and we definitely need to get into it. I think we need to address the elephant in the room, or I should probably say kangaroo. That was such a crap joke. Oh my god. But I did ask you a lovely lot, a load of questions, so we're gonna go through them as well as me chatting absolute waffle as per usual, because it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't do so. And there were so many questions about Australia. Did I enjoy it? Was it the best time ever? Are we moving there? Yes, yes, yes. Maybe yes. Me and Jed literally fell in love with the place. I can't recommend it enough. Obviously coming back from Christmas, we spoke to so many friends and family. They were like, how was it like? And I can't recommend anyone enough to go to Australia. Like, you have to go to Australia in your life. Like, I know it's a far plane and you obviously have to like save loads of money for like the plane ticket. Like, whilst you're out there, it genuinely isn't as expensive as you might seem, especially if you do hostels and like things like that. Like, it's definitely budgetable, but put it on your bucket list right now. You will never experience anything like it. It is a completely different way of life. Everyone is so lovely out there. Like, down to earth. I mean, if you ask an Australian a question, they might look you up and down and think that you're really dumb, because sarcasm is very big over there, I would say personally. So me and Jed kind of came back. Jed's always wanted to move to Australia. Like, ever since he was younger, he was like, I want to go and do like a working visa. And then he met me and kind of like that dream didn't kind of disappear, it just kind of like dissipated. And then obviously going there together, it was, I went there when I was younger and I've always wanted to go back when I'm older, because I feel like when you go in there when you're older, you appreciate it more. It was just something else. Me and Jed enjoyed it so much. The whole trip was like googling how to move out here, how do the working visas work, do we need to do this, do we need to do that? And I was like, well babe, like chill, like I don't know if it's gonna happen, because it's such a big move, like to go to the other side of the world, like the other side of the world. I don't know, when we came back I was like, you know what, let's just do it. Like, I would never want to go through life regretting things, like ever. It's just such a big decision and I'm toying with it and I'm going back and forth. Jed wants to go out there so bad. I'd never ever want to hold like someone back from their dreams, but we're a two-man ship. Is that, I feel like I'm coming up with so many sayings. You can tell that I haven't sat down in front of a camera for a while. But Jed's like, I just want to do what makes you happy, but then I'm like, I want to do what makes you happy. And it's one of those decisions where it's such a big decision. I was speaking to a few girls out in Australia, and because me and Jed like obviously gotten into a relationship when we were 18, we're now 21 turning 22, we've been together for really quite a while, and it's so great going through life and experiencing it with someone who just like wants to be there for you and wants to make you happy, and vice versa. But it's also one of those things where like we're now facing really big decisions, and if one person doesn't want to do something, but then the other person does, and the other person doesn't want to hold back their dreams, and then like Jed is such a great partner, because there are compromises that you will make. This is me going on my million tangents, so it's just such a big decision. Then thinking about it practically, our lease in London ends in 6 months, and we've always kind of said that we love Canary Wharf, but obviously the prices are very high. We kind of like want to be looking towards like, I don't know, but like saving more for our future, so that we would potentially be moving out of like Canary Wharf. I've also recently, ever since like kind of like finishing uni, I found it very isolating in terms of like a lot of my friends live like Greater West London, so I kind of potentially want to move maybe towards them, because I feel like London, it's not huge, but like if you want to go from east to west, you have to drive around it, you can't drive through it. So that's brilliant. So I kind of like want to be nearer to them, but then do we want to stay in London? Are we ready to move to Brighton, or is it Australia? And because our like lease ends in 6 months, it's very awkward, because like the ideal would be that if we were to go to Australia, we'd go in January, so we can have like a proper year to think about it, to collect ourselves, yada yada yada. But yes, we'd have to like figure out what we're doing in those 6 months, whether we're, I don't know, just gonna give up the place and then go and live with our parents for a while, or find something else. Like, it's just really big decisions. But I think that's the most exciting thing, and I was saying this in a video earlier, is that now that I've properly finished uni, I feel like I'm only now just starting my life. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that in a morbid way, but just in the sense that when I was in uni, you're obviously surrounded by the same people every day. It's a bubble, like it really is. And now coming into the world with all these decisions, so many different avenues to go down, knowing what's right and what's wrong, whether to take risk or not to take risk. Your 20s is a hard place, and I think that a really exciting journey that obviously we get to take together. And I think, oh, I'm really getting ahead of myself. I'm going on to like business ideas. Well, not business ideas, because like I really would love to have like more of a community with you guys, in the sense that I talk to you guys, but my camera isn't physically talking back. As much as obviously we can respond to comments and things like that, I would really like to, I don't know, just get more like face-to-face, hands-on with viewers or just with other like-minded people. And I think in Australia, that's what we kind of realized, meeting others. It was so great to make new friends that were really like-minded, loved traveling. Like, they were the nicest people that we met in Australia through my adventure project. I just like I'm so excited for them to come home and then like me to see them, or like maybe I go out and see them. Like, I genuinely made friends for life literally in a matter of like 3 weeks, which is amazing. And I think like that's all we can do in life, is make connections, meet new people, meet like-minded people that you can like go on a journey with, in the sense that just someone to like just like help you up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what I'm getting really passionate about going into my 20s. Again, I'm in such an amazing relationship with Jed, and we're going through life together, which is so fun. But I'm also a girl's girl at the same time. Like, I need my girls. I don't know, I just like, I love meeting new people. I think it's one of my favorite things to do. I've got ideas and pipelines. Like, I'd love to host run clubs, like coffee dates, just to like meeting new friends in your 20s is, I think it's actually harder. I don't know, it's just navigating how to form actual relationships, or oh, like I met a really nice girl, but like, oh, I don't know if she wants to, I don't know, go on a coffee date with me. Do you know what I mean? It's actually like building those bridges, I think, is really, really hard in your 20s. So I think that's something that I'm really passionate about going into 2024. I'm definitely rambling on like so much, so we're gonna revert to the questions. But that's kind of like a small debrief, and what's running through my head right now, like I was saying earlier, it's a first proper like fresh start, new year. There's so many decisions in the world, like there really, really are. But going to the questions now, and I'm gonna start with this question just because a few people have been like curious about your dance story. Like, I haven't talked about it much. I have talked about it in like a few videos. I haven't spoken about it recently because I've been very at a loss with it myself, if I'm completely honest. In a nutshell, started dancing when I was 2, did it all the way until like all through high school, everything. I started with ballet, then I like kind of developed onto tap, modern, jazz, hip hop. Never was a musical theatre girly though. I can't sing, I sound like a dying horse. But so I did it all through high school, all through A levels. I didn't take it as an A level. I have a GCSE in dance, so I did 11 GCSEs instead of the 10 that you would normally do at school. But with A levels, I literally took media studies, business, English lang, and then I also did an AS level in ICT and computing. So that was kind of like my A levels. I think my parents really, really wanted me to get those as like a solid background, and I'm really happy with that decision, if I'm honest. Saying that, I did a degree in dance. I did it in ballet and contemporary. Of course, we also did our cultural studies, and I finished with a dissertation which was written and practical work, so it was very, very intense. It was a lot. Still really grateful that I did all of those cultural studies though, because I really enjoy like learning about that kind of thing. That's kind of like the full background of things. And obviously I graduated in July of last year. I genuinely learned so much being there, like even about myself, just like experience even like, I don't know, the uni life as such. And now I'm at a position where 6 months later, I have taken like the odd dance class like here and there. I spoke about this before, where I kind of like fell out of love with it, because I feel like when you do something for 3 years and it's at uni, sometimes you do get negative connotations with it, just because there's been like sleepless nights over things. You've had like bad experiences with, I don't know, certain work that's been assessed, marked, teacher comments, which I'm not even going to get into. So I definitely fell out of love with it coming away from it, which really does upset me so much, because obviously I've been doing it for so young. However, I also do not necessarily regret, because I always say that I never regret things, because you always learn from anything that you do. But doing just ballet and contemporary, I think definitely like narrowed my kind of like prospects. And I love getting my groove on. I love a bit of commercial. I love a bit of like R&B, like that kind of like choreography, like stage dancing. That's what I'm finding more and more. And I took a heels class with Sap and Libby the other day, which was like just like so much fun. So at the moment, I'm dancing for the fun of it, and I'm dancing for the health and like the fitness side of things, and I do genuinely still enjoy it. But I think in 2024, like that is one of the things I kind of like wrote on my mood board, is that maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna continue to do my dance classes, see how I feel about things. I think the penultimate maybe dream, I would say, is to kind of get into like music, video, dance things. It is just such a cutthroat industry. I always will say chase your dreams, but sometimes there is like certain aspects of things that you do kind of need to sit down with yourself and be realistic about. That it is such a cutthroat industry, and people are out to get you, do better than you 24/7. It's so competitive, like it can very quickly form a very toxic environment for you to be in. So that turned a little bit on a sad note. So maybe this year I take loads of dance classes, maybe get a show reel together. I think like I'm just not putting so much pressure on it anymore, which I'm really enjoying, because obviously like it was such a pressurized topic for 3 years. Like obviously assessment, then you retrain, then you get another assessment, then you get like a written assessment, and it was a lot. I feel very fortunate obviously having this as like a pretty much full-time job at this point, which is really, really great to pay the bills. So that's kind of like where that is standing currently. And then speaking of work and business, people are like, what are your work plans for 2024? I'm like, I'm still obviously going to continue to do this. I love doing this. It is such a creative job that I can't be more thankful and grateful to have in my life. There is definitely avenues that I kind of like want to go down with this being this job, if that makes any sense. Like I spoke about, maybe forming a community with all of you guys. Do let me know if that's something that you do want to see. And even if you're like, Imogen, that's not a great idea, but this could be really great. We love supportive criticism over here. So that's something that I'm really, really excited about. There's also another business idea that I really, really want to put in the pipelines, and that is to do with clothing of some kind that I think, like, to be fair, if anyone who knows me or kind of like really watches my content, you could probably guess kind of like what line of clothing I want to go down. So I'll let that leave to your imagination, but I've literally like, I've planned it out so much, like literally of an evening, instead of sitting and watching the TV. Don't get me wrong, I'll be watching my Grey's Anatomy, but I'll have my laptop and my iPad next to me, and I'll literally be like drawing, making mood boards, the whole thing. So that's another thing that maybe like I document that whole process, because I'm literally gonna have to like find manufacturers, hire people. Oh, it just seems really daunting, like it's really scary. But obviously nothing worth having comes easy, so I'm gonna put in the hard work and the determination. But then that's the other thing, is if I'm even meant to be doing this at this point in my life, do I give it 2 years, travel the world, go to Australia, then come back and make this into the pipeline? I don't know. And this is why navigating your 20s is becoming a very confusing, conflicting, but exciting place to be in. Okay, I'm gonna come to probably the last bit of the video, because I actually don't know how long I've been talking for. This is my mood board of 2024. I had the girls over on Saturday, and it was really, really lovely. I cooked pasta for them, and we obviously made these. So my 2024 dreams: travel. I've got to go back to Oz ASAP. Fiji is like a dream destination of mine. I don't know why, it just like, it screams like the best vibes ever. I would love to go there so bad. And obviously with being the girls, we would love to do an Italy trip again. We did that 2 years ago now, and we still haven't stopped talking about it. If there's like a girls trip that I can recommend for you to do, obviously we'd never been on a holiday before, and Italy was just like the best place for us, because we all love pizza and pasta. It's very, very friendly over there, very easy to commute and like go around. We specifically stayed in Sorrento. Basically, the Amalfi Coast is very expensive, however Sorrento is a way that you can get around it, and you can also go to Positano for the day, and it'd be like, do you know what I mean? Because Positano is a place where you stay and it's like £2 a night, and you're like, ooh. Whereas Sorrento is a lot cheaper, and you can then spend the day in Positano if you'd like on the ferry. I've then also got work, which I've spoken to you about, as well as like I've kind of like done dance off of that like showreel question mark. Also, if you don't know what a showreel is, it's basically kind of like what you submit to like work prospects as like kind of like a, this is me, this is how I dance, watch it. Instead like, and then maybe you get an audition, or maybe you're hired straight from that said reel. And then I've got health and well-being, where by the end of the year, and to be fair, this is, I could probably, if I actually put my mind to it, I could probably run further, but I just thought as a like actual manageable goal, I feel like that is one thing that I tend to do, is I set these crazy goals and they don't happen because I'm just not realistic. So I've got run a 10k, which I would absolutely love to do. I've got my greens every day. I've just started getting into the FS greens free sol. They're great. There's like lots of vitamins in them. I haven't been on them for too long now, probably like taken it for like 5 days. So I'll give you feedback in two weeks if we're noticing a difference. I don't know if you're meant to notice a difference there, I'm not quite sure. And then I'd love to get more into reformer classes. I started reformer classes last year and they were really, really great. I think it's because like I speak so fast. I've actually just clocked onto that. Another goal of mine is to speak slower for you guys, but if you find that I speak too fast, you can always put me in a slower version on the YouTube settings. Yeah, I started getting into them last year, and I think it's because it's so, like, the muscles that you use there are very similar to the muscles that you use when you're dancing, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because it was like, I don't know, home from home. Personal growth, I've got to be less stressed. Stress is a really big part of my life, and it really freaks me out, and I do it way too much, like way too much, to the point where like I work myself up really bad. And then I cried to Jed, and he's a great pillow. I was stressed that I actually am. Life is too short. And I was actually reading something the other day, and I think it was saying that stress in girls can also come from a like nutrition imbalance. And I think, I can't remember whether it was it sodium, or was it, this was another thing, like I've really been trying to like educate myself on my nutrition. Like we did a little course in year 1, but we didn't touch properly on it because that was like during COVID. I think it was sodium, 2,300 mg of sodium a day. That's not like, you basically need to be having that a day. I don't know where sodium's coming from. And apparently you need to have it, and I definitely don't. So anyways, I've also got care less, because I care way too much about people's opinions, in the sense that if I am really excited about something and I tell someone and they're like, oh, like that's weird, or oh, I don't think that, I will get rid of said thing that I'm really excited about. Like I care way too much about people's opinions, which I think that's good in a way, but I also, when it's sacrificing my own happiness, I just can't do it. I don't know. I also need to stop impulse buying. really badly. And the thing is though, is I'm actually quite good. Like if I've bought something, I will come home and then be like, Imogen, you actually really don't need that, and I will take it back. I'm very good with my returns. I don't know, but it's just like the weird things that I buy when I'm out. Like if I go to Boots and I don't know, picked up my 50th hair mask this week, I'm like, why, Imogen? Like why have you done that? And then my last one is to pay people more compliments. I just really want to be a very positive person this year. I think there's too many things going on in this world, and I think it's just a way of doing my part. I think it's just to be positive and reflect positivity onto others, I think is what I can do to maybe help. So without further more, I've chewed your ear off and I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave your New Year's resolutions down below. I'm sure we can all take a leaf out of each other's books. Make sure to comment, subscribe, like down below, all the good fun jazz, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.